Today on Glory and Beauty, I'm going to show you how to do the granny stitch. I'm going to show you how to do the triangular version in this tutorial. You can make yours multicolored or just use a single color. Today, I'm going to make mine multicolored. To get started, we're going to make a magic ring. To make a magic ring, take your yarn and wrap it around your pointer finger and your middle finger 3 times. Then you'll take your hook and insert it under all 3 wraps, pulling that 3rd wrap under the other 2. Then turn your hand and insert your hook under that tail yarn and pull it through the loop on your hook. Release your fingers and chain 3. The chain 3 counts as the first double crochet. Now you'll place 3 double crochet into your ring. Next, you'll chain 1. This chain 1 is going to form the point of your triangle. And then put 4 more double crochet into your ring. If you want to change colors, you'll do so here. You will add your new color as the last yarn over of your last double crochet. Then chain 3 in your new color. Now, before we start our next row, we're going to close our ring. To close your ring, gently tug on the tail. And when you do, you're going to notice that only one loop comes down. To get the other one to come down, gently tug on the left side of that inner loop and pull until the other loop disappears completely, and then pull your tail until that loop also disappears. Pull nice and tight to close your ring. Now let's start round 2. Turn your work, and we're going to place a granny stitch cluster, which is a 3 double crochet cluster in the space between the first 2 double crochet of the previous row. Next, you'll place a granny stitch cluster, then chain 1 and another granny stitch cluster in the next space. Remember, a granny stitch cluster is 3 double crochet. And then you'll place a granny stitch cluster plus 1 more double crochet in the space between the last 2 double crochet. If you want to change colors, you're going to do so as the last yarn over of the last double crochet that you make. There's our granny cluster. I'm going to do my last double crochet, and this is where I'm going to change my colors. and then you'll chain 3 with your new color. Turn your work to start round 3. You'll notice you have new spaces, one on each side of your triangle. You'll do the exact same thing you did in round 2, just make sure you add a granny stitch cluster in those 2 new spaces. So again, place a granny stitch cluster in the space between the first 2 double crochet of the previous row. And then in the new space that you've made, place 1 granny stitch cluster. When you get to the point of your triangle, you'll make your granny stitch cluster, chain 1, and then another granny stitch cluster, all in that same space. And then you'll place a granny stitch cluster in the new space on the other side. And then lastly, you're going to add your granny stitch cluster plus 1 double crochet in the space between the last 2 double crochet. And again, if you're changing colors, you'll do so as the last yarn over of your last double crochet. Then you'll chain 3 with your new color and turn your work. You'll repeat the same thing for each round, adding a granny stitch cluster in each new space. That extra double crochet on each side helps to keep the edges nice and straight going across the top or the bottom of your triangle. And there you have it, the granny stitch, the triangular version. It's perfect for making shawls or other garments and home decor. You can make yours multicolored or single colored. Both are beautiful in their own way. Until next time, keep on making things for glory and for beauty.